If I support Brexit and I'm proud of the country and I'm concerned about immigration, does that make me a far-right activist? Am I branded as far-right now in this country?
Well, it depends who you ask, doesn't it? If it's The Guardian or The Independent or the BBC or Channel 4 or ITV, quite possibly you are. I was just saying this in the little speech I made earlier on, that now if you think that you don't want to be governed by the European Union, if you think mass uncontrolled immigration is a bad idea, if you don't like political correctness, if you are concerned about the Islamisation of our society by people who take a literalist view of that ideology, then I'm afraid that a lot of people in the media and in politics will brand you as far right or even a racist. But this is just the smear and the insult that they use to try and close down debate. And people with a point of view to put, I think, have to just forget about the insults and get on with what they're saying. Because although we are a few people standing up and saying things, there are millions and millions of people out there who actually agree with us.
So how concerned are you at the kind of shutting down of debate on the media that people like Tommy Robinson are experiencing and everything?
Well, of course, I've been on shows. They don't ask me anymore, actually, because they've asked me on things where they've confronted me with things I've said, and I've defended them in a perfectly reasonable manner, and they realise that I can defend myself, so they've stopped asking me. But I have been on programmes where they've attacked me for being associated with Tommy Robinson, and I've said, well, why don't you ask him on your programme so that you can ask him the questions yourself and he can give you his answers. But funnily enough, they don't ask him on to their programmes.
What are the kind of qualities and characteristics that he has that has attracted you to get him to join the party?
Well, he hasn't joined the party. He can't join the party at the moment. We have a rule that says people who belong to certain organisations can't join, although that rule can be set aside. What I like about Tommy Robinson, and I've said this and I'll say it again, I don't agree with everything he says, everything he does, or approve of everything he does, but in the great scheme of things, he is a person of tremendous courage, and he's actually standing up for decent things, and he's talking about things that need to be talked about. And whatever you do about Tommy Robinson, don't believe the mainstream media black propaganda. The first thing you can do is read his book, Enemy of the State, in which he lays out, frankly, what he's done and the things that have been done to him. And I think that's well worth reading. And if you actually examine what he's said and what he's done, then you can judge him in a much fairer light. But don't just believe the propaganda.
Now, Anna Soubry got a lot of publicity when she was called a Nazi by, I think it was James Goddard. We've heard all about Anna Soubry and how the right are supposed to be targeting her. And how is it on the other side?
Well, first of all, I think to insult people in the street the way he was doing with her is wrong. That doesn't contribute to anything to politics. You know, I think Anna Soubry's views are totally wrong. I don't agree with her, and I don't think she's a particularly pleasant person. I've been on the radio with her. But the kind of thing that man is undergoing trial for at the moment is alleged to have done, I totally disagree with, and it shouldn't happen. You know, I've had most of my experiences have been very pleasant, actually. I get people coming up to me and agreeing with me and asking me to continue doing what I'm doing. I've had very few incidents where people come up and say something nasty. And the thing about Remainers is they've never got a rational argument. They don't come up to me and say, oh, I think we should stay in the European Union because of X, Y, Z, and something you can discuss. They come up to you and swear at you or insult you. I've had a couple of instances of that recently outside Parliament in Westminster with the people there with all their European flags. And I said that's your level, isn't it? You can't actually come up with a rational argument that you can put to me. And then he swore at me and walked off. So made my point, really.
Final thing now: will we ever leave?
Yes, if the British people want to be free from the European Union. And the first thing they've got to do is stop voting Tory, Labour, Lib Dem. Otherwise, they never will. Now, I'm prejudiced, I'm biased, because I want you to vote UKIP. But whoever you vote for, if you vote for those three old parties, then you are not going to get anything different. Do the same thing, you'll get the same thing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that.